Shaking the pepper in now, and not a whole lot, because sage is going to be your main ingredient for taste.
And there's your sage right there.
And I think we're going to have enough broth to add that bowl. We'll see.
To add this bowl of cornbread and white bread.
I'm going to get a small teaspoon. I don't measure this, I just do it for taste.
And you're just using a measuring spoon because that fits into the jar?
That's why I'm using it. Smell that.
Oh, heaven.
How about, when I was making this every year, I bought fresh sage every year. Now we won't add any more yet, we'll see how that tastes before we put any more sage in it. And get the onions in it. Wouldn't this be delightful if it turns out good?
Well, I'm sure it will.
Who knows yet?
It smells wonderful.
Yeah, it does.
Just the smell of the black pepper and sage and chicken broth, and of course the house is filled with the smell of freshly cooked cornbread.
Yeah. You have to have good cornbread to have good dressing. That is a must.
And you made that with white lily mix, you said?
I did, and
it's white lily cornbread mix.
yeah. Would you like for me to show you?
Well, yes, I would.
All right. I got fresh because I had some old, but I wanted to be sure it was fresh. Oh, I don't know where. Let's see where it could be. Well,
It's that one in the corner here, right? The buttermilk.
yeah, it's
Pancake
exactly
mix.
like this. I think it was another package I had, but it was. That's what it is. Self-rising white cornbread. It just makes it. And I did use buttermilk. You can use sweet milk, but I used buttermilk.
So you used buttermilk in the mix.
I did because it makes it lighter and not such a heavy bread. But this is looking good. Let's see how this is coming along over here.
Okay.
So that's going to have some nice moisture too to go into the dressing.
Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't have to get completely done because it will cook, of course, in the dressing, but I just don't want it to be crunchy. So that's why I simmer it just a little bit to soften it.
You had an entire stick of butter in there before, right?
I did. And got one standing by just in case. We don't like the way it tastes, we'll put another stick of butter in it.
Good to have your backup handy.
Back up. Besides that, I've got 4 more sticks in the refrigerator. One thing you have to be sure of when you start a project, be sure you got everything on hand and plenty of it.
So where did you learn project management?
Where did I learn it?
Yeah, that concept of having everything ready before you start a project. Where'd you get that?
I know my mother didn't have that concept. Maybe my grandmother, but I don't remember that. It might have been a self-invention. From experience. You learn from experience.
Right. Okay, I'm just curious.
Now that'll just cook along there for a little while. I'm going to cut that down because it's getting hot. So I'll put it about number 4. Now that's about all we can do till we get to... In fact, I'm not putting any eggs in this because eggs already are in the cornbread.
Oh, okay.
So let me give you a spoon. Let you taste what's there. And see if you have any comments. Good or bad. I want the bad ones too.
The sage comes through sort of firmly. I think as it mixes, it's going to be more smooth flavored. I think it's probably enough sage, at least for now.
Yeah.
And
I think so too.
and it's very tasty with the chicken broth. Can I have another taste?
Oh, sure.
It's really quite good on its own.
That tastes good?
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. And
Really?
and I can taste the salt in the chicken broth. You said you had one that was low sodium
Yeah.
and one that was high sodium, but even the low sodium chicken broth is
It has some salt in it.
140 milligrams per cup, which is really quite low compared to standard chicken broth, which is 660 milligrams per cup. It's a
Well,
big
I knew
difference.
I was not going to add any salt. So that's why I got one of each. I didn't want to put any extra salt in it. I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm. Well, the cornbread mix would have salt in
It
it
had
too.
some salt in it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
of course, this had some, so that's enough salt.
Yeah.
But you like this?
It's great. It tastes wonderful.
I'm sorry.
We don't have to tell anybody else we did this. We can just eat all ourselves.
How long can you stay?
Long enough to finish the cornbread and the stuffing.
I think that what we could do now, we could leave that mixture in this big bowl and then put it in the pans in the morning and bake it.
Uh-huh.
I think that might be a wise thing to do.
Okay.
And these different flavors can meld overnight in this bowl.
Mhm.
And I have room for it. I've already made room for it.
Okay.
So I think that's probably what we'll do.
All right.
And could be, let's see. Ooh, I believe I could add that, and then that would cut down on the sage a little bit.
No, I don't think you need to cut down on the sage. If you're going to add this, I'd add more sage.
Okay, we'll see.
Did you taste it?
No, I'm not a taster. I never taste anything I'm cooking.
Really?
No.
Huh. That's part of the fun for me. I eat half the things I cook.
Most people do taste it.
Yeah, but you don't.
I figure that if it's delicious, that's great. And if it's horrible, I've nothing I can do about it. So, I just take my chances. Usually it works out.
Interesting.